This is Jimmy.
Hello.
Jimmy's a bike mechanic. Jimmy's also, would you class yourself as a former pro triathlete?
Yeah, I had a pro license for a couple of years, so I guess so.
So Jimmy also was a pro triathlete, still very good triathlete and bike rider.
Yeah, I don't really swim and run as much anymore. I'm going to do one this year maybe.
Token
just
one.
as a bit of fun, yeah.
But he also races for Movistar's E-team.
Yeah, very lucky to have got into it in 2020 and yeah.
4 years on, still in it.
Yeah, still, they've not dropped me yet, so.
I'm currently at Velo. It's my local bike shop that does Argon 18 and various other bike brands. You would have seen them in previous videos where we've done stuff with Luke talking about the shop, but they're now in a new location. And today with Jimmy, we're going to make some tweaks to my Dark Matter to make it more appropriate for ultras.
Yeah, sounds good. Spinners are winners by the looks of it.
Spinners are winners. I save the kneecaps. That's the solution. Yes. Save the kneecaps. So we've got a few things we're going to try out, but we're going to kind of test the limits of what we could do and make sure that we're making the easy gear really easy and keeping the hard gear the same. That's probably the easy way of putting it. And we're going to use a few different bits and bobs. We're going to add in like a wolf tooth link to be able to allow us to fit a bigger cassette on it and effectively make the bike more ultra ready. So we're taking off the 1134 cassette. Now, there's plenty of videos out there that say you can run larger cassettes, but for me, the ease is basically to look at doing something like using a wolf tooth goat link to allow you to accommodate that without putting too much stress on the rear mech. And ultimately, if that has a lot of stress on it when you're doing an ultra, it breaks.
Yeah, I'd say the 11 speed stuff is a little bit better for this, as in it can run a little bit wider ratio. I'd say the 12 speed is a bit more sort of like on the road, is a bit more sort of you got to run what they run sort of thing. And 12 speed stuff is quite expensive at the minute.
Well, I think it's all going to change when 12 speed GRX comes out, Di2.
Yeah, definitely.
XTR cassette as well, mate.
Yeah, looks nice.
It looks really, I've never seen it like that. It looks really cool.
Yeah, different materials of metal. These ones are made out of a softer because you're probably not going to use them as much, or the load's spread out a bit more.
This is one of Wolftooth's best products they've ever created because it allowed for wider gear ranges at a point, especially for ultra stuff when you kind of want that. This is a road link. Now this effectively goes between the mech and the mech hanger and allows you to reposition the mech slightly to allow you to fit a big cassette. This is the reason why I love Wolftooth. It's such a good tiny thing.
Yeah, solves a problem not many people have, but some people that do these ultras, you know.
For ultras, it solves a big problem, and it is purely, it will change as group sets advance and we see bigger gear ranges and ratios appear, but for stuff right now, it makes a huge difference. Website image here, it says, optimized for use with 11 to 36, 11 to 40 and 11 to 42 tooth cassettes. Will improve the performance of 10 to 42. So what this effectively does, as we said, it lowers the position of the mech to allow you to accommodate for a larger cassette, therefore putting less strain on the mech. So hopefully we don't have any major bad issues.
No.
Touch wood. And ultimately, as I've already said, for me, what I found having done several, I counted how many ultras I've done, it's 20 something. Yeah, having done a lot of ultras, is that especially when you start to fatigue and you're tired, you want an easy gear to be able to spin as opposed to grinding a bigger gear, which effectively causes you a lot of strain on your knees and can f you up long term. So having an easy gear is good. This is going to be interesting to see if this bit works.
Yeah, we'll see how well it shifts with the big cassette.
That looks good. Better than I thought.
It goes in. I'd like it a little nicer than that. I wonder if a longer chain to accommodate the bigger cassette. I think we should try a new chain and let's see, just because we're going quite a lot bigger. Oh, nice.
It's not waxed though, unfortunately.
It's only on Tegra spec.
What is this tool?
This is a homemade tool that it's basically a cut spoke so that I can helps me measure chains so you get the right length basically. Some people do it differently, like some people go little, not through the mech, but when I was 14 and learned how to do this, this is how I learned to do it basically.
Surely going biggie bigs is good because that's the place that the chain's going to be at its longest, right?
In theory, that's the maximum it'll ever be. You have to do it a little bit different for 12 speed. I like to sort of do it by the book with that stuff, but for 11 and down, I basically use my little homemade chain holder and then go big. I'd rather cut it and it be too long than do what some people do and they cut the chains and they're too short and they can never then get into the right tooth basically. So. It's actually better than I expected. I was a bit dubious because it's not what's by the book, but yeah, I'd be happy to ride this actually. So
the shifting's fine, right?
Yeah, it's completely fine. I might bring the B screw in a little bit, but straight out without really doing anything to it, it works.
If you have got GRX 11 speed, 1x or 2x, and you're looking at a way to get a bigger cassette on, get one of them. This is important. Talking.
Definitely. Right,
This is the moment of truth.
It looks fine, I think.
I think it'll work fine. I think as one tooth different, I don't think it's going to matter so much. The eTube app helping us out.
Here it goes.
So with all of the 12-speed Shimano group sets, you basically have the ability to connect straight up onto the eTube app really easily. It's done via Bluetooth. You download the app on your phone. But with 11-speed group sets, you needed a little wireless adapter thing, which you could get hold of them really easily, but it allows you to connect up and adjust your gearing on your phone, on your iPad. And I think it's easier to do it that way, personally.
I would say I set up most bikes nowadays on the app rather than... You can do it through the buttons and doing the micro adjustments through the buttons, but it's actually easier with the little diagram, and it's more also when I'm going to have an apprentice soon, I could just pass him the iPad and they'll be able to do it straight away kind of thing. Perfect.
So a little bit of tweaking on the eTube app, and we've got all the gears.
All the gears. Super duper easy, but then you've still got your, it's the perfect for steep or long uphills, or you've also still got enough to descend on as well.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Thank you.
No worries.
Going forward, you're probably going to see Jimmy appearing more in videos where we're going to do some stuff just talking about tips, recommendations from a mechanic. We're going to talk about some Zwift racing stuff as well at some point. I would like to. Jimmy is like my local version of Nick, but politer and not South African.
I was going to say that.
And doesn't talk quite as much as Nick. Loves bearings as much as Nick.
Yeah, maybe can't talk as much about bearings as Nick, but yeah, I don't know. I guess tubeless is probably my thing. I could talk ages for about tyres and sealants and all that.
Yeah, go on. Good sealant. What would you use?
Silka. That's what I'm using now. So
It's
we've
best.
just started stocking it as well. So
Also, if you're in the area, make sure you come and check out Velo Bavarian. It's a really fantastic bike shop near Derby with a really good range of bikes, and they've just moved to this new location, which is mint.